So last night I stayed up until like 3:30 in the morning because I got this creative burst of energy and I created a new website. It's been something I've been thinking about for a while. Last night was the night. So sometimes when that creative burst comes along, you have to act on it. I've had the domain name Apache Business Solutions for quite some time. And if you follow me at all, you know that I'm a bit of a techie and I love AI. I love all the different things that we can do with AI as far as, writing any kind of content. I use it a lot for content creation. I write code with it. I've developed many websites already with AI, like pure coding type websites. I've written lots of little scripts to automate my business process. And I have a kind of a unique kind of perspective and outlook, I think, on AI and where we're at right now in the business world and in the world in general. So I'll give you a little history about me and why I feel that is the case. So I started, let me see where it is. Here it is. I started as a photographer back in high school with this camera right here. This is the Canon AE1. It's like a tank. It's so heavy. It's a film camera. Still got a roll of film in it. And who knows what kind of gems of pictures are on there. Maybe one day I'll get that roll of film processed. But then something happened. Digital came along. And of course I went digital, but I know a lot of photographers that didn't go digital. They sold their Mamiya cameras and they said, yes, I'm done with photography, right? They quit. Well, I'm not like that. And I wasn't one of those old guys. But I started with film and I saw digital as a cool advancement in photography. So I learned digital photography. Then something else happened. These phones came along and now pretty much anyone can take decent pictures, even if they got four thumbs. Of course, a professional is always going to do it better. One thing I say is AI will never be able to create the kind of photos that I can create. So if I'm doing a portrait session with someone one-on-one, there's a certain chemistry that happens when me and that person start working together. And I create what I call wow photos. Because most people, when they first meet me for a photo session, they always say, I don't take good pictures. And I joking around say, well, that's okay. I'm taking the pictures today. But I know what they mean. They mean they don't like themselves in pictures because nobody ever takes a good picture of them. Well, after I get done with them, they say, wow, these are pretty good. And they usually have a hard time choosing the favorite photo because there's so many good ones. Luckily, I don't make people choose one photo or five photos or whatever some portrait photographers do. I just give them all the photos because I know over time they're going to like certain ones better or whatever, right? And I don't want to restrict people to just that immediate choice that they have. Although sometimes that's the best choice. Sometimes it's the worst choice, where the light didn't go off all the way and they're kind of dark. Some people like that photo better. So I started with film photography, but I'm going to take you back even a little bit further than that. So in high school, I studied drafting as a trade. I went to a technical vocational school in Massachusetts, where I'm from, and I studied the art of drawing on paper with pencil and T-squares and compasses and, old school stuff. And lettering by hand, block lettering. That's why I can't write cursive because I was brought up as a draftsman. And then something happened, like right in my high school time frame. Computers came out. And I went to work for Raytheon Missile Division straight out of high school. And I had a hand in building the Patriot missile. I didn't know it at the time. Later in years, I did research and I found out that, oh, Raytheon was building the Patriot missile at that time. So I may have drew parts that went in the Patriot missile. I didn't know what I was drawing. I was just drawing 3D parts, right? Wiring harnesses and stuff like that. But that was big mainframe computers that took up like a whole wing of a building. And one of my first jobs was to run backups on the computers. So, that experience helped me later in life when I started using computers and I had to back up my own computers. I learned the value of backups. I also learned a little bit about Unix at that time because it was basically a Unix system. And I used to go into these cold rooms where the data center was. And I used to put these big hard drives in and lock them in. These big, huge hard drives like this with multiple layers of drive cylinders or whatever they call them, platters. And I used to run the commands, and they would always be right under a cold vent, right? I'd be sitting there running the commands to do the backups on the reel-to-reel tapes. So they had these reel-to-reel tapes, and I'd catalog the tape and go put it in the rack and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, that was my early days. And then PCs came out, and I started doing engineering drawings on the computer with a program called AutoCAD on the 286 when it first came out, AutoCAD version 1 back in the early days. Then they introduced a programming language called Lisp, AutoLisp, so you could code AutoCAD and make it more productive. And the little engineering company that was 30 people over the years grew to 300 people. And I was the CAD master. I did all the coding of the system to make the engineers, to make AutoCAD usable for the engineers because they were coming off the drafting board using pencil and paper and they didn't know how to use computers. So I made it easy for them to use computers, and that will become relevant later on in this presentation. So time goes on and I learned how to code even more. I learned C and C++ and became a real techie. And then I called up Autodesk, the company that makes AutoCAD, and I said, hey, I want to come work for you. I'm an expert. I know how to code, yada, yada. They hired me over the phone and moved me from Georgia to California, to San Francisco area, Bay Area. Triple my salary. Of course, you needed that much money to live, and you probably need 5 times salary now. And then something happened. The World Trade Center came down, and I got laid off like a lot of other people. And I had a pretty good career already with that software and that world. And I could have stayed in the tech world, but I decided to pick up my love of photography and go be a photographer. So I moved back to Massachusetts, where I'm from, and I went back to photo school and started my second career. And I graduated top of my class. I won a big award. And then I moved to Las Vegas, where I currently reside. And I've been doing photography and video for like 20 plus years. And then something else happened. These phones came out, right? So I've seen a steady decline on the phone calls, right? Because now people don't hire a photographer. They just pick up their phone or they have their friend take a picture of them and they think that's good enough. Back in the day when it was filmed, people didn't know how to take good pictures. So it was too complicated for them. But now it's so easy, anyone can do it. Look at me, I'm live streaming on Facebook, right? Anyone can do this. So now we have another historical event that's happened, AI. And AI has enabled pretty much anyone to do things that they could never do before. Just like the phones enabled people to take great pictures, great video, live stream. So as a programmer, as a techie, I really appreciate AI because I can make it do things that other people can't make it do. And like I told you, I have a history of automating things, customizing things, making things more efficient. I like to automate and make things more effective in my daily life, whether it's managing a bunch of data, I have to process like spreadsheets or, just text files that have data in them that I need to process, creating emails, sending text messages, because I have, business reasons to send a lot of texts, send a lot of emails, work with a lot of data, spreadsheets, stuff like that. And I don't want to sit there and copy and paste and, hurt my wrist, right? So I find ways to automate things and make things easier and more efficient. And most people I know aren't that techie. They aren't that tech savvy. And I can run circles around them with a computer. And the thing is, and that was okay the past 20, 30 years. It wasn't a problem. Now, in this day and age, we all have AI. And AI is enabling us all to do things more efficiently and better, run our business better, run our marketing better, basically do everything better, faster, with more knowledge at our fingertips. We thought we had the world at our fingertips before with the internet. Now we have all of the knowledge of the world that's ever been known at our fingertips. So I am basically launching a new brand called Apache Business Solutions. And I've had this domain for a while and never kind of really did much with it, but I always had a vision for it. And the vision is coming into fruition now. Basically, I see the problems that businesses have. They don't know technology. They're too busy doing their day-to-day activities in their business. They don't know how to automate. They don't know how to make themselves more efficient. And that's where I come in. All my years of experience gives me this unique perspective and these unique abilities. What's that line from that movie Taken, where he gets on the phone, he says, I have a unique set of skills. So I'm like him. I have a unique set of skills and abilities. So I created a new website last night. Okay, so this is Apache Business Solutions. It says what I'm offering. I want to solve everyday problems or challenges that business owners have. Maybe they don't know how to get new customers. Well, I can help with that. Maybe they're not doing the best marketing or outreach to get those new customers. Maybe their internal business processes are based on paper. I had a lady contact me the other day, Friday, on my photography business. She said, do you need any office help by chance? And I said, what do you mean by office help? And she said, like, paperwork, phone work. I was like, no, not really. Like, we don't use paper. I have filing cabinets that, we file stuff in. And I work from home. I work here at my computer. And when the phone rings and people hire me, I go out and I do the photo job. So if you want to be my assistant and carry equipment, like that may be a job for you at times. But it's not a daily activity. And, in talking with her, I have some other potential avenues for her if she's open to exploring them, but not doing paperwork in my business, in my photo business. So, if you're that type of person or that type of business that's dealing with paper, you definitely need to automate your business. If you're the type of business that has some Word documents or some spreadsheets, and you got to go find the spreadsheet or find the Word document and type in a bunch of stuff, and then you copy the customer data over here and you copy the customer data over there, then you definitely need to automate your business. So many ways to automate a business, from the marketing aspect to lead generation to marketing to that person to making a sale to taking that sales data and onboarding the customer and giving them the products or services efficiently and effectively that they bought from you, and then following up with them, because like they say in the business world, you know, it's easier to sell to your current customer than to a new customer, and it costs less. So if you're not marketing to your current customer base, your new products and your new services, maybe you're not even coming up with new products and new services. That's something you need to do. Handling customer support. Customer's got a problem. Are they able to text? Are they able to email and get an answer? Are they able to tap into a chat bot and tap into your knowledge base and find out how to fix whatever problem they're having? So all of these things can be automated. And that's basically what I say here on the website in as little words as possible. Lead generation, marketing, outreach, inbound, outbound, customer support, business process automation, professional services, maybe something that a canned product can do, or it may be something custom that needs to be developed for your company. And then you can own that. And that's great if you want to expand and you want to open up multiple divisions of your company in different states or different parts of one state. Once you automate and systemize, then it's much easier to open up a new store or a new whatever you do. That's what I want to help you do. And I'm uniquely qualified to do that. So that's it. You can go to apachebusinesssolutions.com and click on the schedule a consultation button, and that'll take you right to my calendar, and you can book a time on my calendar. Pretty simple. No hard sales pitch or anything like that. I just want to talk to you and see if there's something that I can help you with. Everything is custom. There's no packages. There's no pricing. We have to talk first. So if this is something that you would like to explore, then go to Apache Business Solutions and get on my calendar. I'll also show you some other channels that you can follow. They're not linked on the website yet. I haven't put links, but I created a Facebook. So this is my Facebook page, Apache Business Solutions. It's facebook.com/Apache Business Solutions. And I also created my logo with AI. Isn't it cute? And then I've also got a Instagram account. So here's Apache Business Solutions. So it's Apache_business_solutions on Instagram. And then I've also got an X account. So Apache Biz Sol, SOL, on YouTube. So youtube.com/@ Apache Business Solutions. So I have all those different accounts. So feel free to follow and like and share. And I'm excited to help businesses be more productive with their marketing, with their business, with their efficiency, with their customer support, with their follow-up, whatever. I can help with all that stuff. Look forward to chatting with you.